of my employees blasted a wood pile and broke this bumper cover on the front, which is $400, very close to the $500 I paid for the whole thing. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Car Studio, and in today's video I'm going to give you a quick garage update, and also talk about a couple flips that I got recently for good deals because they were misdiagnosed. So let's do a quick garage update before we get into the object of this video. And first off in the garage today is my 2004 BMW 530i. If you're new to the channel, I bought this car totaled to flip. I had a spare car for parts, and long story short, I got it together and I was driving it to repaint the quarter panel, which had clear coat peeling, and found out the transmission was slipping. So I couldn't sell it like that. It wasn't really worth putting a transmission in, so I kept it myself, and I learned to drive it to where it didn't slip. And I've put over 40,000 miles on this car since then, and it ironically has been for sure the most reliable vehicle I've owned, and also the longest I've owned a vehicle. It has been excellent to me. I've loaned it out to friends and they've taken it out of town. Over the years, specifically last year, I decided to put a little bit of money into it. As you can see, it has different wheels on it now than factory. Also put K-Sport coilovers on it. Updated the interior. It's kind of a mess right now. I've been running errands today. Other than that, the only maintenance I've had to do, I did a video earlier this year. I had to put a new water pump on it and a new disvalve, and that's it. I've never even changed a coil pack on this thing. And yeah, it's been super good to me. I drive it every day. Everything in it works. Cold AC, hot heat, heated seats, heated steering wheel. There's not much more you can ask for a $700 car. So anyway, there's that. And the last video I did was on the E30. I did a lot of videos on it recently, putting together this new motor, only for it to lift ahead at 120 miles an hour when I was 3 hours from home. So I towed it back here. It actually drove off the trailer and into the garage, where this has been its resting place since then. So my buddy Mike's pulling up. But real quick on this car, I haven't got parts ordered for it yet. I've been super busy with a million things in life. That's why also I haven't been uploading recently. But if you look under the hood here, it is untouched. Like I said, I drove it in here, and this has been its resting place since then. If you're wondering what all that is on the valve cover, it's not splatter paint. That is antifreeze, along with everywhere else on it. It was all over the wheels. I cleaned those off, front bumper, everywhere. But I do plan on getting an OEM head gasket and ARP studs for this third rebuild. Just going to pull the head, inspect, put it back together. Right now it has a Victor Rons head gasket and head bolts, and you know, I was actually bragging about that setup when I put this motor together because it lasted so long before, but this time that wasn't the case. Like I said, I put maybe 200 miles on it before it lifted the head and blew coolant everywhere and left me stranded. Hydro locked more than one time. Somehow it didn't bend a rod and it still runs. But anyways, next I'm going to show you the ML55 AMG that you guys haven't seen in months. Alright, here is the ML55, and since my last video, it's in better shape mechanically but worse shape cosmetically. If you remember, I was going to patch, it just had these cracks on the bumpers here that I had to fix, and then one of my employees blasted a wood pile and broke this bumper cover on the front, which is $400. Very close to the $500 I paid for the whole thing. I did sand and re-clear the headlights on it since last video, and it's been very reliable. I think I've had it since March maybe, and the only thing I've had to do to it since we started working out of it was replace the radiator, which I had a leak since I got it. A friend of mine actually gave me one for free, so that didn't cost anything. But yeah, it still runs perfect, fires up, and check out the mileage on it now, 357,000. It is really unbelievable that this thing is still the original drivetrain and runs as good as it does. I did put the Podofo 10.1 inch in it like I did my Power Stroke, and you know what, it does have one more issue. As you can see right here, I had the shifter kind of half-ass taken apart trying to figure out the shift lock. If you have one of these and it will not shift out of park or won't shift back into reverse as this one does, right below the drive here there's just like a little trap door, and you just can take a pin or something and stick down there, and that will be the that'll override the shift lock release. But there's an easy fix for that, which I'm about to do right now, and that's the brake light switch. It literally requires no tools. It just kind of twists or pop in there, can't remember, and it was 20 bucks at my local Advance. But yeah, this thing's been really good to us. Interior is still clean, even though we've worked out my guys get in it every day, and they go and they cut grass and do landscaping. It's had a 6x12 trailer hooked to it literally all summer. But yeah, there's the AMG. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Right now I'm trying to work out a deal on another Mercedes, just a trade. But if I keep it, I'm thinking about putting new tires on it and fixing the body up and repainting it. I don't know that it's worth doing all that to. I think it's always going to be worth about $2,500 or $3,000. But let me know in the comments what you guys want to see happen to this thing. Should I leave it alone and just keep it as a workhorse, or make it nice? I don't know yet. Next, I'm going to show you the flips. Okay, now on to the main subject of this video, and that is the two flips that I got that were misdiagnosed by previous owners or dealers, and I picked up for good deals. As you can see, I was just dealing with my guys, loaded up the trailer, took off in the AMG for another day of work. Thing's so reliable, I'm very impressed by it. Okay, first up, we've got this 2004 or 2005 325 XI. I can't remember the year. We picked this up over the weekend. It's a Texas car, as you can see. Somehow made it into Ohio for the last 11 years, and she bought it in 2011 for $15,000. She still had the paperwork from that, along with a load of maintenance. Let me show you guys. Check this out. We have, so we have the DVD that it came with, original paperwork, service receipts, a VHS tape, I think. I don't know. But yeah, it's been pretty well maintained until recently, and I think this is a good example of, you know, a good car that was maintained really well through most of its life, and then recently, either due to financial problems or her age, maybe she doesn't drive as much, she just kind of let it go. And so I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and it was for sale for pretty cheap because she took it to a dealer to have a PPI done, and the list, I mean, this car is what, 17 years old roughly, so of course there's a lot of stuff wrong with it, but the car still runs and drives every day reliably. It's safe, and you know what happens a lot of times is people take these old foreign cars to a dealer and they say, tell me what's wrong with it, and the list is forever long. And you know, that's normal for a car. This one has like 178,000 miles on it. You know, to have that many things wrong with them. Most of them's not that serious, but they pile up and it ends up being, you know, thousands of dollars to fix for a probably $3,500 car. So to go over some of the things that are wrong with it, first I'll show you a picture of the PPI here. And as you can see, they pointed out every little thing. Some of it was misdiagnosed, one thing being coolant leak. When it came in the shop, it didn't have any coolant in the expansion tank. It wasn't overheating or anything, it just was low on coolant. She had been topping it off, and they said they couldn't find the leak. Well, the water pump was making all kinds of noise, and the pulley, you know, shaking. And I did a video on it on that car recently. That's an M54. So was this one, same engine. Super easy water pump replacement. They're like 30 bucks online. I got one coming for it. And you know, that's all that was wrong with the coolant leak. The bearings go bad. They start leaking coolant past the shaft there. And so that's one leak that's going to be addressed. Another leak was the Vanos oil feed line. It's a high pressure oil line. I'll show you in a minute. And that's leaking on this car. I picked one up on Amazon for like 13 bucks. Again, 2 bolts, very simple fix. And that's going to fix one of the oil leaks. It's got a couple. I think a valve cover gasket, more than likely, like all of these do, is leaking. And there's a power steering hose line underneath here hanging. I don't know if you can see it in this video, but there's a couple drops underneath. It's not like leaking very, very bad, but that's something else I'm going to address. But aside from that, mechanically, it is sound. There's a little vibration in the drive shaft, either a Guibo or center support bearing. I'm going to put up on the lift maybe this evening and see what that is so I can get the parts order for that. But mechanically, I mean, it shifts excellent. It runs perfect. And interior-wise, interior is perfect. Everything in it works. The heated seats work, steering wheel controls, radio works, sound system sounds good, all the lights work. Typical BMW, all but one window regulator is bad, so that's something I gotta replace. Again, they're cheap. They're like 30 or 40 bucks a piece. Not that hard to replace, especially the back ones are very easy. She's got something wedged in here to hold this window up, but overall, it's not a bad deal. I'm gonna spend probably 4 or 5 hours of labor and a couple $100 to get this thing pretty well sorted, enough to be a very reliable daily driver. So let me fire this thing up and show you how good it runs. I'm used to my car with just one touch. All right, there it is. We have one light, the check engine light is on. But other than that, we don't have ABS warning lights or anything like that. Just a very, very nice car. It even smells good in here. I'll show you under the hood all the leaks it has. Okay, I didn't want to leave it running because I couldn't talk over the engine. But the leaks, water pump, I don't know if you can see. I can move this fan. Probably can't tell in the video, but the fan's got a lot of play from that water pump. Bearings bad. There's your oil feed for the Vanos that's leaking. Again, very cheap, easy repair. And it's got dumb stuff, just like it's got a beer can holding this headlight in, and you know, that's either it's the wrong headlight or they just couldn't get it clipped in. Like, super easy. That was on the PPI. They could have fixed that for her for free in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and replace the expansion tank. This is a big failure on these old BMWs, and they're 30 bucks and easy to replace. And that's pretty much it. I mean, this is a really nice car. It's gonna make someone a nice car. All right, let's walk out front of my house and I will show you guys the other flip we got that was misdiagnosed and bought for a really good deal. Okay, out front, real quick, the GL, the wife's GL, still running very strong. Although we've had it for a few years now, I think it's time we're gonna sell it or trade it in on maybe a Volvo XC90 or maybe another GL. I don't know yet. I'm trying to talk her into a G-Wagon. An older one, of course. I can't afford anything like new. But so here is the other flip I've got recently. This is a 08 caliber. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. It's nothing really special. It's been underneath this tree, getting all kinds of crud on it. But it actually is a very clean car. No rust on it. Clear coat peeling on the roof. So picked this one up. It supposedly needed a fuel pump, and I got there with a jump pack and some ether because it's been sitting a few months, and my friend started to spray the ether in it, and I was like, let's just see what it does. It fired right up. It runs absolutely perfect. Again, misdiagnosed. I think the issue with this car was that it just needed a new battery. So we actually drove it home and cleaned it up, put a new battery in it. The only codes that it had was low voltage, which is typical, and it's a very, very clean car. It doesn't smell in here, and it runs flawlessly. There's no dash lights except for TPMS, which will probably come on here in a minute. It's got 170,000 miles on it. There's a TPMS light, but no check engine light, no OBS lights or airbag lights. Heat's hot, AC's cold. It's got heated cloth seats, which I've always thought was weird. I thought Volkswagen only did that, but apparently Dodge did too. And this one, it's an RT, so it has like 8 of these huge speakers. It has a subwoofer in the back, and yeah, this is just a really good vehicle. I'm gonna put probably $2,500 on this one when I go to sell it, and I think it'll make somebody a nice driver. Just really not in bad shape. The engine purrs. Again, nothing special, but these are the flips that I like. I didn't have to do any major work to it. I literally drove it home, cleaned it out, put a battery in it, that's it. Probably gonna buff the headlights before I list it too. But the interior, quick vacuum, throw away some trash, that's it. I wish it wasn't sitting under this tree. You could see how good a shape it's in. But there's no rust on the rockers. You know, I'm kind of towards the north, so a lot of times we get a lot of rust in the lower parts of cars, and this one does not have that. So this one was well taken care of as well. So one more funny thing about this car, when I went to buy it, I took it on a quick test drive on kind of a hilly terrain, and it felt kind of like the transmission was slipping. Not enough that the average person would notice, but I did, and I wasn't really interested in the car at that point, but we went back and I talked her down some more on the price, and I thought, if I get it cheap enough, I can sell it to someone, let them know, you know, the issue, and it would still last them a while. But when I got it home, and I went to check the transmission fluid to see if it smelled burnt, and it actually was a CVT transmission. So that's just the way they feel. So yeah, I got the car cheaper because I thought the transmission was slipping, but it's not. All right, that does it for this video, guys. I need your input though. I haven't uploaded in a while, but now that grass season's over, I will have more free time. I have some time off from work, and I plan on digging into my various projects. What I showed you is just a fraction of the cars that I have. I have a lot more at my other garage. Some of you know I also have a BMW F30 335i. I am going to be building it. I have a motor for it. I'm going to replace the rod bearings. If you guys want to see that content, I'll be starting on that very soon. And I've got, you know, a couple more cars. Do you all want to see like rebuilds? Do you want to see boat content? Do you want to see more E30 content or more car flips? Let me know in the comments. Thanks again. See you guys next time.